Hey guys.
Hello.
To answer your question, Dane, no, I'm not better, and I have a cold.
Old. Oh no, she better don't.
I apologize if I sound like ass today, or like a chronic smoker. Yep,
I'm sure it'll be fine.
it's gonna be fine. Everything's fine. Everything is totally
Yeah, of course.
Everything is fine. There is no
I-
war in Barking Say.
Everything is awesome.
There is no
Everything's
wall.
amazing if there is no war in Bussing Say.
There is no wall
Exactly.
beyond the walls.
Please forgive me if I'm not as chatty as usual.
Here we are safe. Here we are free.
Here we are, Bossing Say.
We got bustin' say.
But you are Bussing Say?
I had to look up that reference.
Oh
Really?
no! Oh,
Man,
Like last
No.
week, I was going, that doesn't sound familiar at all.
It's a long, long way to Basing Say. Girls in the city, they look so pretty.
There is no war in Barking Say. You can't prove that there is. If you do, you're a heathen.
Yes. That makes all of the sense.
Hello, glorious foodman.
Oh, oh my. Punafala.
Oh, that looks delicious.
Just for context, any and all viewing, D&D Beyond's pooped itself.
Oh yeah,
Should
yeah,
we
yeah.
flip?
That's a thing. Yep. Yep. It has in fact.
So we're having,
Massive poop-de-doop.
we are having some issues and having to acquire workarounds. I'm lucky that I have the D&D Beyond app on my phone and all that information has been saved
Actually,
on my phone.
Not so lucky.
for the people in the audience, if anyone is watching from outside Australia, can you try going to, if you have characters on D&D Beyond, try seeing whether you can access them.
I am outside of Australia. I am not trying to access it. I can't.
Oh yeah,
I keep forgetting that you're like the other side of the world.
in England.
I'm in the UK.
That doesn't count. That's just like Australia with more colonialism.
Oh, basically. I mean,
I think you'll find Australia is England, but with more colonialism.
it's literally like, Dad, why did you make me this way? And I'm like, who are you? And why are you talking to me?
Look at me, Father. Look at what you've done to me.
Oh, interesting.
What did I
Get it?
say? Don't come into the break room when Daddy is playing.
I'm getting a different error than before. Now I'm just forbidden from accessing the server.
It won't even show me anything. It's just white screen for me.
I'm guessing they might be turning things off and turning them back on again.
That be
like the internet do.
I just have.
I'm not even getting an error. I just get a blank screen when I try to load up my characters.
Same, but I have back all good. It should be fixed soon. But in the meantime, as we are all quite awfully reliant on technology, I got a book
You do have a book.
called
Alright, we explore that book a little bit.
The World Builder's Journal of Legendary Adventures.
Oh no.
It has very interesting in-character prompts and hypotheticals, and I think it would be enjoyable if we just took a stab. I've just opened it to a random page, and because I'm the one asking the questions, I'll probably end up trying to answer last, also because I want to cheat. Your character has an opinion that is very controversial. What is that opinion? How does it affect their standing in your world or among your adventuring party?
I think Falai should go first on this one.
So I'm just trying to understand the question fully. So an opinion that is very controversial.
Mhm.
What is the opinion, and how does it affect your standing in the world or among the party?
Well, we all know that Thalai, for example, sleeps naked compared to everyone else, and the party definitely does not enjoy that if they have to share a space with him.
Mm-hmm.
Usually
Oh, I
by
mean, Storm thinks it's hilarious.
Thalai also has a very peculiar sense of honor and responsibility that goes at odds with the party from time to time.
For the naked one, how does that work with your society? Is that just kind of, oh yeah, whatever?
I always just put it down to that it's too fucking warm down here. He just can't sleep comfortably because, you know, as you go to sleep, especially if you got like a blanket or a covering on, you just get too warm. And thing that Thalai is used to cold mountain altitudes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too cold. So the fact that when they, a while back, were up in the mountain in Demulands, would have been one of the few times Thalai, since joining the Xel'nari, has actually worn clothes while at bed. Just because it was back to optimal temperature.
You're only freeballing when you're on holiday down south.
I guess, yeah.
It's spring break every day.
Pretty much. Much to Kovek's annoyance, which she always puts up a sensor bar, which the lie does not understand, because there is no shame to any physical body. It is the best of what it can be.
I was going to say, to add to that, your clan is very much physical form is something that should be showed off.
Exactly.
And should be
And he's
proud
got
of.
tattooed
And
rune
seeing
marks
as
down the
Thalai
side.
is a fine physical specimen for his clan, he definitely should be showing himself off.
Yep.
What
When
a stallion
appropriate, of
he
course.
is.
In the middle of a fight? No, that physical needs to be protected. If he's just lazing around, going to bed and such, then sure, there's nothing with showing off the physical.
He's a stallion, baby.
He's a hunk. He's a stud.
Was there another controversial opinion that you had?
Oh, was that me or Storm? Sorry.
No, to you, Thalai.
I also just mentioned the fact that he has a code of honor that goes at, and personal responsibility that goes against the party. So, for example, Thalai was very much against going for Oddy's sister. Not necessarily because he wished harm on Sam, just more for the fact that we are Xel'nari, we have responsibility and job to the Xel'nari, and thus we should be sticking with the Xel'nari, and especially the fact that there was that whole thing as well where we ditched the demo we were escorting back to Xel'nari lands, and then we discovered that the group we were escorting was then imprisoned. That kind of rankles with him. And he thinks that really we should be investigating what's going on with this upcoming war, because we may have inadvertently started it.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys also all remember that time. Practicality trumps morals, where he killed most of the bounty hunters in cold blood.
Yeah. I do remember that.
Yay.
Thalai believes he's perfectly justified in that act, and I know that many other members of the party were very horrified at Thalai doing that.
Just a tad. Who's next?
Oh, I've got one for Mug.
Okay.
Mug believes that most nobles are cowards.
Ooh.
Oh boy, we got a nomicide. God damn it.
Already? We're not even playing the game!
Not yet, we're not.
D&D
Nebula.
Beyond is working again.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Hey!
It is
They really
not
were
on
just
my
turning it on
end.
and off again.
I would
Yeah,
still,
Oh my God, it
like.
got
Still down on my side.
I would still like to hear Mug's answer though.
No, it's up now, we can play.
So the quick version is he believes that nobility is a duty to do the right thing for the people below them. It's an obligation. It's not a privilege to maintain your status. So it is an act of service, not an act of aristocracy or breeding or elevation of one's position. It's not a societal thing. It's an action. So it's kind of like it's a verb, not a noun, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm.
And yeah, it's come through a couple of points at different times.
Yeah, we saw that to a certain extent come to a head when Mug was talking to Kovac about contacting the Borovian Queen, where Kovac was being all about, yes, but rules and regulations, and you can't just send to the Queen, that's ridiculous. But you're like, why?
Why?
Like, it's her job to keep people safe, so she needs to,
I think also the way you spoke with the Demu nobility reflected that as well.
So it's sort of just a background opinion of what he believes sort of strength of character to be.
Yes, Storm
Of
has a
course.
similar point of view. Is that everyone is equal, and she doesn't understand stations or classes because everyone has a role, and everyone plays their role, and that's why currency doesn't really make sense to her either, because everyone has their role and
Currency
plays their
doesn't make
part.
sense.
Well, in her village, or where she comes from.
I was gonna say currency doesn't make sense because they didn't use it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. To her, it really doesn't make sense because she's like, well,
Would you describe that as socialist sort of leanings? Is that what you're sort of going for, or
not so much. More just everyone has their part and plays their part. So like the blacksmith fixes things that need to be fixed and blacksmithing. Hunters go hunting. Everyone plays to their strengths, and then they trade in services and goods rather than currency, because everyone is playing their part in keeping the community running. Rather than having an arbitrary value to things which has an arbitrary, like a currency to trade in.
barter makes sense, economics doesn't?
Yes. So, like, she understands the idea of being all like, I'll do this for you and you do this for me and we'll make a bargain. But she doesn't understand the value of currency. Her people just don't use currency. Time is a bigger currency than materialistic. I sent you the things, Ash. Oh, you saw. Never
Thank
mind.
you. I got that.
And is everyone's D&D Beyond working?
Yes, mine is.
Mine is now working.
But we
But
still
you're not.
have,
You're.
we still
yeah.
have two answers: one from Sam and one from Kovac.
No, we can
I was gonna
play.
say, you're not getting away without answering those.
What to say?
Your controversial opinion: reading is overrated. It's a dark shame on your soul.
Nah,
Well,
pineapple does belong on pizza.
Pizza,
pizza's overrated.
I'm not accepting that as an answer.
I'm gonna quit the party. Fuck that. Oh, we gotta hydrate.
Oh god.
Hi, ugly Jester.
Hello
I'm honestly
and
not
welcome.
sure. I don't know.
All right, we'll come back to you. Oddie,
Yeah.
controversial opinion about
I
Sam.
don't
Go.
know either. I
Oh,
literally
come on.
don't.
I can
Well,
sort of
just
think
think
of
about
one
it.
for Sam.
I can
Which
think
is?
of.
Potentially for Sam, money isn't worth more than everything else would be a controversial opinion from your upbringing.
Well, that's the thing. I wouldn't think people would count that as a controversial opinion because everyone pretty much agrees.
Your family doesn't.
True, but yeah, it's literally that money doesn't solve everything. It just makes things worse. But a certain amount of money is still needed. It's one of those awkward lines.
Oh dear.
I feel like Sam sees money more as a means to an end.
Yeah, and she'd much rather that end just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So you wouldn't have to keep resorting to it, which we haven't been, and I'm quite happy with the fact that we haven't really needed to ever resort to like bribery, really, or like money to make this go away. No, we're doing things with our actions, and
I
that's
think
what
I have one for Kovac.
I've thought of one too.
Can I voice my opinion?
Sure.
Law and order should rule over all, or govern over all.
I don't think she holds that as an absolute.
I think recently that has changed a bit for her. But I think when we first started, that was definitely in line with her traits.
Yeah, since Mug has met Kovac, a little bit more sort of moral grey has expanded in your repertoire.
Yeah,
I mean-
we've had a lot more grey areas pop
I've
up.
asked you to do some pretty dodgy stuff, and you've agreed.
With the encounter with the demo, she's like, I don't respect these laws because they don't do what laws are supposed to do. Which is an interesting approach. My observation, potentially a controversial opinion, is that Kovac might overvalue intellect above other forms of expression. She very, very highly values intelligence, and I, in the past, talking with Eli, has been dismissive of the need for physical strength when one is powerful of mind and magic.
Hey, Kovac, hold this.
No!
So is this going to degenerate into a jock versus nerd prank war a la 80s movies?
Please, no.
Already?
I have another controversial one for Storm.
Mhm.
If it's fun and it hurts no one, why should she not do it?
Yeah, that's fair.
It is definitely controversial because define hurting someone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if she can't perceive it to be... Oh, I'm a dummin. I just grabbed cutlery. I already had cutlery. Anyway. Oh, fucking...
That's why you put the decoy cutlery out so your cat goes over to that.
I'm just silly.
Rolling.
I'm sorry, I was trying to... I had a thing on my mouse. It was dirty, so I clicked it.
I forgot what I was saying. Sorry. I'm sorry.
You were talking about if it's fun and doesn't appear like it's going to hurt someone.
Oh, right.
Do it.
Yeah. If she can't perceive a potential downside to doing something, or like a threat, so to speak, to doing something, she doesn't understand why it couldn't be done. So, like, the whole it's against the law thing is like, that doesn't make sense.
Fair.
Or, like, not being okay with etiquette, or, like, that kind of stuff.
I don't know. I think you called mental pain to Kovac when you messed around with her calculations and such.
She doesn't see it that way. And this is why it's controversial.
So Storm only perceives pain as being physical and not mental. That's worrying.
That's not true.
Then why didn't she see the mental anguish?
She doesn't see a little bit of exasperated stress as pain.
So discomfort versus pain.
Yeah. If it was really actually upsetting you, like genuinely causing you...
I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure Kovac was very nearly at her wit's end. So
this was a potential world-shattering occurrence, and Kovac was trying really hard to record everything she could possibly remember. And you were like, yeah, this is fine, I can just mess with this.
Kovac didn't really sit down and explain that to Storm. You gotta remember, she doesn't understand the...
social norms.
The social norms, the facial expressions, the body language of people outside her people, because she's only ever been in these lands for a few years. She's still learning. She doesn't quite get all the social cues and things like that.
Yeah, there might be times we think, oh, we would have probably sat down and told her, but because we haven't physically ever said it, it's like, that's probably not actually happened.
Yeah, it's like Kovek's tail wasn't twitching. She must have been fine with it.
Yeah, like her ears weren't twitching, so clearly there's no problem. Her hair's not sticking up at weird angles, so she's fine. Like, like there's this weird social cues that.
I have no
You
tail.
barely have hair.
My ears are stationary.
So
All
what you're
the hair
saying
is
is
just a
the false
mohawk and
negative.
eyebrows.
What's
I was going
hair?
to say, her hair is permanently sticking up on end.
What is hair?
What is love?
Like, but
baby, don't hurt
sort of the point is that she doesn't have the same, like the normal social cues that she would go by, she doesn't have the same ones. And so she doesn't quite grasp entirely the whole stress thing.
Well, let's get into the game and we can find out just how much stress we can put ourselves through.
He's out for play.
I know, I'm
Also,
kind of
just a
keen for these
quick
questions.
one to the people watching.
I've
If you are interested in us doing a bit of a Q&A thing for our characters, to a bit of a behind the scenes for what may or may not be coming on screen, or how to interpret some of the stuff, let us know and we can do that easily enough.
This is a very thick book, and there's loads of props.
I may even answer as some of the NPCs.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool. But yeah, I've got to get back to
What
my
is Barda's controversial opinion? Tune in next time at the...
Oh, actually,
Oh,
I do know Barda's controversial opinion.
But
go on,
you-
quick, before we get in.
She believes that the Xel'nari should open their doors to all who wish to better themselves, not just those that they choose.
Interesting.
That's honestly a pretty reasonable approach, because
But it is controversial because it goes completely against the understanding of the Xel'nari.
Xel'nari is shrinking and dwindling and having a hard time. So,
Because they have very strict rules by which they allow people to proceed. They allow anyone to try out, but to actually make it in is a different story.
of course.
On that note, which I think that's one of the reasons why Storm would respect Barda so much. But on that note, shall we get into the game?
Play.
All right, Ash, what happened last time? Fill us in.
First of all, hello everyone.
Hello, yes, hello.
Hi.
So, we are playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. This is the Trials of the Xel'nari. The party has finally made it to Olan'Talos, where they hope to find Sam's sibling hiding somewhere within the city, trying to escape the Demu who have been hired to capture and return them to their father, who is he's a bit of an arsehole, is the nice way to put it. No, he is an overprotective father, a extremely wealthy businessman, an entrepreneur who wishes to marry off his daughter in order to gain influence and secure trade routes and better ties to other mercantile groups. For this reason, Sam's sibling has run away in an attempt to not be married off, because, you know, not everyone likes that kind of shit. But he is not one to ever lose. So he has hired the Demu hunters in order to track down and capture and bring her back, which they are all too happy to do, especially seeing as to them she is just prey. She is not human, so beneath them, as far as they're concerned, a wild animal that just needs to be captured. Which is an interesting bias, seeing as they are working for a halfling, but as far as they're concerned, as long as they're getting paid, they can stomach it at the moment. Their path has led them to this elven village nestled within the Kalashtan Empire, which is a neutral empire that does not communicate with the outside world, which leaves this elven village as a kind of strange bastion within their territory. Upon entering the city, it seems that not everything is as it should seem. Things are happening within the city that people seem to have no memory of. Everyone seems to be cautious of leaving the city. But everyone seems content here, happy. No reason to leave. They were met by the secretary, as she has referred to herself as, her name Daleth, who has brought them into the city and tried to escort them around, taking them into her home, as they are not used to visitors normally. The party was able to get a long rest if you need it. Actually, you wanted to spend a bit more time before having the long rest, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
But you were taken back to the house,
Yeah.
regardless.
There was you said it was like mid-afternoon, so I feel like that there's still productive things we can do in that time before just resting.
Yeah.
You have been taken into Dela's house, where her pet Elmaraz, Tizzle, jumped up into her arms. Which, for those who are not familiar with the creature, it is an almost dog-sized rabbit with a unicorn's horn upon its head. Very cute, very lovely, quite friendly too. And that is where we will return to our game.
Okay.
Bunny.
Excuse me, Daleth, is there somewhere private that the 7 of us could retire, just to compose ourselves?
Of course, yes. If you need a moment to yourselves, I understand. You're tired, you've had a long travel. Allow me to give you the room, so to speak. And she excuses herself into the kitchen, which is separated through a door.
Okay. And so what room are we in now?
You're in the living area.
Okay.
The house itself is quite... not sparse, but I guess you would call it like an elven version of modernism, so minimalistic. But still, what little decoration there is quite ornate and definitely of elven handcraft.
Okay. So, I shall be operating under the impression that we are effectively behind enemy lines for the remainder of this mission. There's clearly an institution here that has been established to a certain extent subdue and lessen the brightness of these elves, and I feel in order for us to uncover the truth, we will have to disturb that establishment, which will potentially get an antagonistic response from the Kalistar. Would you all concur?
No.
What is your read on the situation?
If you say we're behind enemy lines, that means you have declared war on the Kalistar.
I'm merely suggesting that we operate very carefully, as though we are behind enemy lines, not in regards to us actually having to be as aggressive as one might be behind enemy lines.
We could also basically in the lion's den.
Indeed.
Of whatever is currently going on, we are currently held within that. You guys keep talking. I'm just going to go check something. While they talk, I try and do the sneaky little double checking. She's been very nice and everything to her. She's in the kitchen. I just want to do a quick check of, is she actively just like, oh no, this is your guys' space. I'm not. Well, she probably is, because she's been very nice. But I also wanted to see if I could double check to see if there's anyone else possibly eavesdropping.
So are you doing a general sense of the room, or are you like listening at the door?
I'll be listening at the door and things like that. They don't really need my full opinion on this while I'm going out and just double checking sort of situation.
All right, roll me a perception, please.
Perception.
Mm-hmm.
In seeing Sam do this, can Storm sort of do the same?
Yeah, of course.
Is there a window?
There are several windows.
She's gonna go to the windows instead of the doors, though.
Yeah, make it a perception for both of you.
Checking the perimeter.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 equals 16 for me.
Alright. You listen at the kitchen door, and you can definitely hear that she is not making a lot of noise, but definitely moving around inside the kitchen, possibly preparing a meal or two.
That was an 18 for me. Not very high.
You have a look outside the windows. Apart from a few passers-by in the main street, no one is nearby the house. They're definitely not in a position to be able to listen in on the conversation.
That's cool. Just being cautious.
I feel
I'll
that
give like a signal over and be like, we're good.
I feel there's much for us to learn from this place before we rest. It is my intent to launch scouts and investigate as much of the town as possible. Might I suggest that the rest of you attempt to get as much information from Daleth as possible? She's been charmed and has had her memories modified, but could still be useful.
Can you do anything to recover the memories?
I can tomorrow. I'm not prepared to do that today.
You don't have the right ornaments. And I go back over at Storm at the previous conversation we had about, why don't you have all your things prepared all the time? Not the right ornaments today.
What
Precisely. Do you do with ornaments?
We hang them off our proverbial Christmas trees. Anyway,
what is proverbial?
Does anybody have anything they wish to say to me before I begin scouting? Because my ability to pay attention will be diminished.
Question.
Yes?
If we commit an act that makes us as aggressors against the Kalashtar, as Xel'nari members, that means we are effectively committing hostile acts on behalf of the Xel'nari against Kalashtar.
Yeah.
That is a very good point.
I would caution such a decision to undo whatever Kalashtar do here, and perhaps and leave it to the Xel'nari to decide whether they intervene. For I do not think we have the right to make that.
It would be good to get information if we can, so we can do a better report. But yeah, definitely keep that in mind.
Don't worry, I can just ask for permission. Pulls out the sending stone.
It's not quite what we're meaning.
Just wait until we have as much information as possible before we contact Barter, okay?
Also,
okay.
Say we do have permission, and we somehow succeed. We are very deep within Kalashtar territory that we somehow would have to escape from back to Xel'nari territory with Sam's sister in tow while being hunted by demo bounty hunters.
Mm-hmm. What's your point?
The point is, I don't think that we should be even attempting to ask whether or not to commit hostile act. I think it is a bit beyond our ability to deal with it.
I get the impression that both the demo and Sam's sibling have potentially been incarcerated somewhere. That is my working theory. Both parties were apprehended because they were equally disturbing the peace and shattering the grand illusion that's been created here.
At the end of the day, I just want to get in, get my sister, and get out.
Perfect. You bring up an interesting point.
Hmm?
If we cause disturbance, deliberately or accidentally, we could get arrested. Our memories could get affected. And we could get sent back.
Indeed.
We need to have some way that we can know if we have been... if things have been interfered with.
You make a very good point.
Need an assurance.
Is there something we can do? Some.
Maybe a code word.
All right, a code word. What did you have in mind?
I don't know, anything.
Boiler works?
Boiler works.
How about a word which never comes up? Nomicide.
What? What is that?
I read it in a book.
That sounds like some kind of combination of gnomes and genocide. That sounds horrible.
I was going with gnome and homicide, not genocide. You're taking it to a whole new level.
Why would anyone do either of those things? That's horrible.
Why would anyone kill a gnome? You've never met some gnomes, have you?
I've met some
you
gnomes.
see Storm get a little nervous and uncomfortable in the corner.
I mean,
We
a
love
lot of gnomes have ended up dead at our hands.
Her ears are a bit down and her tail is a little bit.
Mostly one person's hands or paws.
Yeah, that would probably be more so yours than hers, actually.
I have not genocided gnomes, thank you very much.
Yes, you have.
No,
actually.
the majority of the nomicides have been caused by Alice, thank you very much.
No, well, one of them.
No.
Okay. The audience thinks it's hilarious. When
To correct your memory, when you went through the Kalashtan Temple, you guys went willy-nilly killing those guys. She did not kill them. She tried to not kill them. She activated one of her powers and rolled maximum damage and had no other choice but to kill one.
But that was specifically the nomicide there and then. The rest
Yes, that's what started the whole trope, but choosing to willingly kill gnomes, you have done far more than her.
True, but Storm has still killed more gnomes than Polite.
only
I'm gonna go back
Due to
over the episodes and calculate
request.
that.
only due to popular demand.
Nomicide.
I think we need like a gnome kill count.
Oh my god.
Probably.
Please.
Anyway.
It's like the curling gnome count.
So, if you are going to speak to Daleth, I have a few questions.
I know what the code word can be.
Yes.
What was the name of the fish that was in the water near the Xel'nari headquarters?
What fish?
Wasn't there fish in the moat or something, or in the pond?
Oh, a really big fish. That they think it was in there. I don't actually know.
Catfish?
I, as a player, may have forgotten.
Okay.
Can I roll to see if Storm remembers? Because I feel like she's invested in this. Ash?
Yeah.
I vaguely remember there being fish there.
I mean, there are definitely fish there. Nothing particularly special.
Ah, okay.
The name isn't Silga, is it?
Nope, she doesn't remember. She's still too embarrassed in the corner.
I mean,
I rolled an
most of the
8.
fish that you would definitely know is there. They would be trout. But no particularly special or interesting fish in the moat.
Yeah, I thought it was a story of one that was in there that people were trying to get. I couldn't quite remember if that was the one you were meaning.
Perhaps a code phrase, acid kraken.
You can shorten it to just acid crack.
Or
Ass crack?
ass crack.
You acid cracking at me.
Crack-a-lackin'.
The joke is entirely lost on.
Acid cracking.
Hmm.
So we use that if everything's good or if we think things are bad?
I'd say if everything's good. If we say it to each other and everybody understands, then we're fine. But if we say it to each other and someone goes, "What?" then perhaps we know something's awry. Okay. Well then, with that in mind, could you, if you go and speak to Daleth, could you ask what this place exports? What benefit does this settlement provide, and how do they get it out of here? Because it seems a bit odd to me. Regardless, and I'm going to wave both my hands. Under one hand, I conjure Wisteria. Under the other, I conjure my spellbook.
And what time of the day is this?
Mid-afternoon, was it?
Yeah, you're about mid-afternoon.
I will go and open a window, and I will send them both out.
Mm-hmm.
I will take a seat on one of the comfy throw pillows on the ground of this lounge, I suppose, and I will sit kind of cross-legged with my quill conjured and a large sheet of paper in front of me, just poised to write, and I'll say, "Right, this might take a while, so hop to it." And I begin swapping back and forth between the eyes of Wisteria and the book. The book, because it glows, is going high up and is just doing a more orbital view, while Wisteria is going to fly around and do more up close and personal surveying of the area. And I'll tell you what I'm having them do.
As your book floats up past the roof, it is a kind of spectral glowing book. It is still visible. You see a cat on the roof just hissing at it and spatting at it. Alright, so you're just scouting around the area.
Yes. So essentially, I'm sending the book up high because though we as players have this wonderful bird's eye view, as characters we don't. So I'm getting an in character bird's eye view of the area of what's around, and we'll be drawing a map on the piece of paper while Wisteria is flying kind of around and in between buildings, just getting a general impression of what's where. I'm also curious to know if what this thing is and why it's there. This weird castle-looking structure behind the walls.
It is a castle.
Okay.
While Kovac is doing this, Storm will pipe up. Is there any objection for me to go for a wander through the village? Someone can come with me if they like.
At this, Subtle doesn't say anything, but just shifts over beside you.
Anyone else? I think
Maybe
there is...
Fog can... You can keep an eye on Fog.
Okay.
Yeah,
Remember,
I'm...
No fighting unless we need to.
Don't worry, this place gives me the heebie-jeebies. Something ain't right here.
Yeah, Thug, me too. That is why I want to go look around, so I can try and figure out what it is. Something
You want to look around? I just want to leave.
Would you feel more comfortable staying here, Thug?
He looks around for a moment, sees the Almirage in the corner, and just... Nah, I'm gonna come with you.
Okay. We are not going to cause trouble. We are just going to have a look around and, see what we can see. It is surprisingly informative what you can learn from just observing the people are going about their day. And it seems to be busy afternoon. She looks out the window and sees, like, no one.
And Thalai and Sam.
Duh.
It's not too early to start day drinking, is it?
Well,
Why the first drink?
I might join you later. I was curious about the smithy here. Plus, who knows, maybe they saw something.
Hmm?
If the demo want to look after their weapon, they're probably not going to stint too much who cares for it. I'd imagine.
No.
Well, best place to find information is where people are drunk.
Duh, but I'll join you in tavern when I'm done at the smithy.
Okay, well, Subtle and I will go for a walk. Oh, wait, Thug is joining too. I could not. Yeah, okay. So us three go for a walk. We will, look around. Thug and Thalai are going to meet up at the tavern later. And Thalai, you're going to the blacksmith. Sam, are you going to stay here with Kovac?
Sure.
Oh, no, I was asking what you were going to do.
I was. I mean, I was kind of. If we go into the blacksmith, but if we need someone to stay with Kovac, that's probably a good idea.
Well, you are not obligated to stay, but I think maybe it might be wise since, and she waves a hand in front of Kovac's face.
She's in La La Land. I know.
And then proceeds to
look.
grab like something like a feather that she's got and everything and very carefully put it in her hair.
Yeah,
A flower.
roll
A
for
flower.
Look,
Roll sleight of hand.
Sam,
Ooh,
You go
actually
look.
good.
go look for your sister.
19.
I'll stay here and I'll go look at the blacksmith and that later.
No. You can do that.
No. It's your
Helping
sister.
Kovac can.
It's your sister, and plus you are a little bit better at talking to people than me anyway. So you go. I'll stay here and make sure nothing happens to Kovac. Plus, try and keep our host busy if she asks questions.
Okay. I'll go do some scouting.
Duh.
Alright.
Right. But once Kovac awakes, maybe I'll see you at the tavern. Luck.
Right then. So,
Oh, and you too, dog. I'm assuming you go drinking too.
of course. Maybe that will calm nerves a bit.
Alright, well, I'll see you there in, I don't know, a few hours, I guess. Depends on how much Kovac takes.
Thug, would you feel more better going with Mug to the tavern?
Nope. I'm gonna move with you for now.
Okay.
And this is how we split the party.
It's fine.
Alright,
I'm keeping an eye on everybody's movements with these with the spell book. So I have some kind of impression of where people are going.
Alright, so Kovac is staying. Storm, Thog, and Subtle are going together. Thalai is staying with Kovac.
Yep.
I will go around. Maybe with Mug, or should I not go with Mug?
Join in.
I'll go with Mug.
Split the party 4 ways. That's gonna make my life so much easier.
What could
combats at
possibly
once.
go wrong?
4 combats
That's
at once.
more just trying to keep track of everything on what they're all
I
doing.
love that Storm has become the NPC collector.
Ash, I have a question for you.
I have an answer for you.
Would you be able to adjust the scale in this Roll20
I can do that.
scene?
Or provide a suitable multiplier.
I'd just like to know how far and how fast I can move things. Yeah. So Storm is collecting NPCs while Kovac just has like multiple pairs of eyes all flying around for her.
You're a drone controller in a medieval setting.
Yes, I am.
Basically.
So as Mug and Sam are walking off, Mug will turn and through telepathy go. So does your sister want to be found?
Unknown.
Because from the sound of it, if she's evaded bounty hunters for this long, unless she wants to be located, we're not going to really be able to do it without some help.
Yeah, no, I understand. This is pretty much a are they even still potentially here before trying to gallivant around with the whole. Oh, what's the best way I can describe it? Trying to locate. They're not even here, then there's not much we can do about trying to leave clues. If you understand what I mean.
Hey, Sam. If your
Yes.
sister...
Oh, wait. I'm talking with my mouth voice now, not my head voice. Okay, yes.
This is as Storm's about to walk out. Hey, Sam. If your sister was going to leave a sign behind, maybe for you to only understand, what would it be?
I kind of think it might be some form of like a drawing of well, with the nibbles, I'd assume. We used to pretty much leave not much for each other. That was the whole, how good can you be without having to leave signs sort of situation. But
You didn't have like a secret code or way of communicating?
it's called, and then in your head you hear it's called this.
Oh, right. I forgot about this. Okay,
Sure.
never mind.
Can your sister talk to animals? You said she had some training as a druid, is that correct?
Yeah, very minimal. If they decided to keep up with it, is another matter. It's been at least 4 years or so since I've actually seen them. I don't at this moment know what they are capable of. If you get what I mean, like
Yeah.
we never showed our training of such in front of father. He didn't really care, apart from Sam being me being the better one, so to speak, to carry on. Outside of that, there was literally no point.
I'm wondering if they would have made contact with the animals of this city. The birds, the cats, the rats. One of them might remember a you that's not you.
I hope so. I can't do that at the moment. I can't talk to animals at the moment.
Ah.
Yeah, I haven't got the right accessory correct today.
Accessorize.
Exactly. So I have thought about this before already. It's just at this moment I don't have the correct capabilities.
Well, if you were in an area where the people around you have some degree of psychic potential, would you try and hunker down and hide?
Yes.
Instead of fleeing?
More than likely it'll be hunker, hide, find the right moment to go, and then go. But again, it's been 4 or so years since I've seen my sibling. There's only so much I can ascertain at the moment.
Well,
Other than
probably
a little bit of a shitbag.
The most qualified expert within 1,000 miles on this topic, so you're kind of the one we're going to be asking questions of. Sorry. Hopefully you're the second most qualified person within 1,000 miles.
The first person being themselves. Yep. Yeah, I've already tried to think about if they would have had, I don't know, something they're wearing or carrying, but the scrying didn't really give us anything, and the only thing I could really probably try to search Scry for is well, he's on my shoulder.
Were they religious?
Oh, we're not really like a religious family as such. My mum had some. Oh, sorry, doing a big stretch. Oh, like mum has a few. I don't know, like, nature connections, but yeah, it's one of those. Unless you knew where to look and the right times and things, it would never be out in the open. Dad didn't like that, therefore it didn't happen. You know, the whole like we know but we don't talk about it sort of situation.
You get a somewhat knowing sort of nod of acknowledgement from Mug. Maybe we should swing by the temple as well to see whether they might be harboring a visitor.
Scryer. No, yes, Scryer, yes. Go back, you're not listening. Okay, never mind.
Hey, Sam.
Hmm?
Could I borrow Mr. Nibbles?
Sorry, what happened? Because you suddenly cut out for me.
Can I borrow Mr. Nibbles?
Why?
Because if your sister is still in town and maybe watching us, would they not recognize Mr. Nibbles?
Maybe. There's a chance. I mean, Mr. Nibbles doesn't have like, oh yes, I am distinctly a different color of until I put him on fire, of course.
Well, it was just a thought. Never mind. Okay, we're gonna head out now.
Okay, you could. Okay, here's an idea.
Hmm?
It wasn't really something I could really do as much. I don't know if Sam ever really saw this. Probably not. You could like lay rumors about people hearing about like a flaming mouse, like a mouse that's on fire, like naturally so. That might pique their interest. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it would pique most people's interest. Let's be real here.
Well, potentially we are the only non-elves, non-Kalashtar in the entire city. So if people have interest to be piqued, we might be the talk of the town.
Yeah, I wouldn't throw the name around because if the demo are still here and they're also in hiding, that might mean they're gonna try and use me as bait again. Did have a thought tomorrow. Oh, after I sleep, if they are the same hunters that were before, I could try and see if I could locate that blood thingy that they had. If it's around.
Bless
you.
Thank you.
So,
also, Sam.
I don't really get a good look at it as much, but it was described by Kovac, and I think they showed it in like an illusion. But, sorry, yeah.
Do we want notoriety in this town?
No, Kovac said we need to be on best behavior.
I'm not saying bad notoriety.
No notoriety, because again, the whole thing of the demo could very easily then find me and use me as a pawn. I'd rather not.
It would also make Barda
Only if
upset.
they know your name.
They know the Applebee. They know that we are a group. A lot of them have already seen all of you. Weatherby, shut up.
You're not a restaurant.
I could be Ash. You don't know my dreams.
I mean, I could try and organize.
Your pronouns are now restaurant.
Restaurant/cafe.
I only refer to dine in or dine out.
Dine in or dine out.
That could be interpreted in weird ways.
I was going to say, so were you a dine in or a dine out?
Oh God, guys, I'm so sorry.
Yep. Well, what I was thinking of is, let's say that there was a traveling group of performers and musicians in town, and we organized to have a big performance. That would draw a crowd of people, and that would give us a chance to examine a whole lot of people in one room.
Storm, who had just walked out of the room, comes running back in. Can I play the bagpipes?
Of course. And be really quiet because our lead singer is gonna be Kovac.
What?
I
I mean,
like
truth
this
be told,
plan.
you could probably tell the townspeople that we, the complete strangers, are here to do anything, and we probably get a turnout.
Hmm.
They have not seen people like this, so they say.
It's Vecco and the Wisterias.
I hate this man.
I kind of like it.
I spent 5 minutes out of body.
We have Thalai on drums, on percussion. Because hitting things surely comes naturally to that chap.
Are you guys still within the? Have you guys?
We haven't left. We're still
out?
inside.
Yeah, I think we're just sort of about to leave, and then we keep getting distracted.
Yeah.
The lie is just.
It's for the good of the mission. You should understand that.
Just keep it
I
low
don't. I don't see how. I don't understand how.
Maybe we
can attract everyone in the town into the tavern and investigate them all in one go.
Also, if they think we're bumbling idiots, they might think less of us and let slip something that they otherwise might not.
But I am not a bumbling idiot and don't want to be perceived as such.
Why not?
Sorry, rephrase. Will not be perceived as such.
I'd also rather not.
It's
like
okay.
That either.
The drums are the most serious instrument of the band. It's all right. You will be okay.
I don't like this plan. I don't condone this plan. Please don't.
Storm, no.
Okay.
If I was to play an instrument, it'd be the horn. And I hold up my horn.
But
Okay, change of plans. We are going with the performance theme. But
Oh! Thug can play drums. You can hit things, right?
Very good at hitting things, but drum. I have
Drum, you need to keep the rhythm, beat.
yeah, that. I don't have that.
okay, you know what? Let's just go out, do a little bit of normal investigation, and then let's see what happens from there. There we go. That's the plan.
Sam speaks. Sam speaks clearly.
Yeah, okay. I guess we got a little bit excited and sidetracked. All right. Nothing else?
I appreciate the
Okay.
quality on it.
Well, all right then. I suppose we will leave.
I'd rather get out as quickly as possible.
We will meet back at. We will all meet at the tavern later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. How about we meet at sundown? Is this good time? It is late afternoon now. So meet back in maybe a couple hour.
Not
And
massive.
we'll-
It's just we're told we could probably even just ask the locals if they've seen someone, that looks blue, looks green, looks any other color than elf.
But currently they are not remembering. So I think what we need to do is observe things that might be out of place instead of asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're currently not remembering things that have caused disruption. At the moment, we've not done that. We'd rather like to keep it that way.
Also, maybe they only affected memories of important people, not everyone.
Is
Because-
possible.
Too much.
It's powerful magic, and there's a lot of people here.
Well,
Yeah.
I have some
Three
theory similar. Sorry, Sam.
No, I'd say there's only 3 entrances and exits for that as well. So if it's fine.
Well, I had similar theory. I want to go wander and see if I can find someone who could see the alleyway from where they were that might be a further distance away and has observed something unusual. Maybe they are too scared to speak up.
Feeling that it might be
Well-
more of a around the precipice of the entire town. You know how fairy circles work?
No.
Okay.
Don't
we'll go
mess
for
with
later.
fairy circles.
Exactly.
Nothing good comes from that.
No, but like they encompass an area. We are encompassed in an area in the
Oh.
middle of a lake. Like this is a cut-off section. It could just be a bit. There's too much. You know what? Let's go do some exploring and find things out.
Yeah. How about Storm? You do that, and Sam and I will go to the temple, then to the tavern.
Okay, so we're just going to leave Kovek here?
I'm here with
Kovek.
Kovek.
Oh, you are staying. Oh, okay.
I'm staying.
I thought we... Oh, okay.
And then we all meet at the tavern at sundown.
This
Done.
is good plan? Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
We've had worse plans. We've had much worse plans.
I feel like this is very good plan,
true.
you know? I mean,
I'm going
it's
to...
no door down mountain with snow sled, but, you know, it's pretty good.
I like that plan.
You're not here,
That
Kovek.
plan gives Mug nightmares.
I will take some paper and I'm gonna write a note and put it into Kovek's hand. So the whole thing hand open, put a paper in, and then they'll close your hand on it.
Kovek's hands are both currently occupied. She has one on a piece of paper and is basically drawing a large detailed map with the other hand, just as she's piecing it together from her sources.
I'll put it somewhere where when Kovek comes out of this, it'll be easy for them to notice where it is.
Her lap would be fine.
Yeah, it'll be just a folded up piece of paper, written off to the side. It's just, please take Xel'nari to the blacksmith after.
Okay.
Can you make me a cartography roll, please, seeing as you're attempting to draw a map?
Oh boy! I have no actual training in this, but I'm very smart.
Well,
It
smart
might
is
mean
not
nothing.
really what you need for drawing a map of this nature in the way that you're doing it. I'd say it would actually probably be based on your dexterity.
Uh-oh.
I have perfectly adequate dexterity.
You're lucky it's not Mug doing this.
I rolled a 5. It got caught on a tissue, does that count?
Seeing as you are attempting to do this without being able to actually see the paper you were drawing it on, you were getting the right shapes and landscapes, but you are not getting the right locations. In fact, some things are overlapping each other. It's like when you draw on someone's back and then they try and draw what you've drawn on their back. You're not getting exactly the right things.
Delai just glances and just goes, I can't fix this.
In fairness, I've never tried this before. It's a new thing.
He's going to sit back down and he's going to flick through the other book he keeps on himself, which is about the magical creature and how to harvest their body parts when they're dead. Just because he's got nothing else to do right now. He's ready.
There's an Almaraz.
I need to roll.
right
I was about to say, I need to roll a perception check for Dana to see if she sees this book. That is going to be.
Oh no! I didn't even think.
She's oblivious. She does not notice the book. She is not petrified about what's about to happen to her pet.
The line
I'm
didn't
back
even
where I
consider that.
I'm not drawing a very good map.
Thalaye planning to skin a pet.
No, I'm not planning on skinning her pet. I'm reading a book about if her pet were to die, how we'd be able to harvest its parts for use of things. But he did not even put 2 and 2 together about that, and he's just reading it because he's read his other book, and there's nothing else for him right now.
That is fair.
That's definitely interesting. So I had to deal with some cats fighting.
Oh dear.
It's fine. Unfortunately, it's a common occurrence in this place.
We have a cat in our audience currently.
Yes.
Aw.
Real snow kitty.
As
Not
opposed to the
evil.
fake snow kitty.
Fix the kid.
Like the ones that you guys fought up in the mountains.
Those were
They
not
fake
Yeah.
They were
kitties.
not kitties. Those were not kitties.
That's where they're fake snow kitties.
No, Kit. No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
And it's
What happened?
just
Look
Kit
at Kit's
being
thing on
bloodthirsty.
Discord.
Oh, you mean on Twitch? Anyways,
Our chat really is bloodthirsty, damn. Alrighty,
They know what's
so
up.
let us go
They're
on
the
our
real murder
separate
hobos.
adventures. Yeah.
all right. So we have Kovac and Thalai staying at the home.
Uh-huh.
We have Sam going with Mug.
Yes.
To
Okay.
the temple?
Yes.
To the temple.
I'm trying to cover up my face as much as I can, just on the off chance.
You're half the height of every single other person in this
Ah.
place. It's very hard for you to not stand out.
But
there's a difference between being a halfling and isn't that like that halfling that was here 6 months ago or 6 weeks ago?
I mean, also too, I mean, could pass as child.
And then we have Stormthog and Subtle going off.
Mhm.
Alright. Thalai and Kovac are... Well, Thalai is at peace. Kovac is diligently working on the map. Can I get you to roll me the perceptions for you as you scout about? What are you looking for specifically?
Perception, I'm off the table. That is a 7. I'm having a challenging time bouncing back and forth between 2 different input sources. I mean, it's really phrased. So, how would you rule this, Ash? When the book is active, I, Kovac, can see through the eyes of the book, no action required. It's just like I have a picture of what the book sees. But as an action, I can look through the eyes of Wisteria and give her instructions.
Yes.
So when I'm looking through Wisteria's eyes, can I also see the picture-in-picture? Or am I swapping back and forth between my eyes and Wisteria's eyes?
It would be swapping back and forth.
Okay, I thought so. So I have intermittently perceived part of the conversation that was happening as people were leaving, because I had to. Which is interesting. Anyway, so things I'm looking for. I want just like a general understanding of the scale we're working with, which is fine. I'm curious to know main questions. What and who is it in the castle? Is the castle occupied by elves, or is it being occupied and run by Kalashtar? And in relation to that, are there any ways for the Kalashtar to enter the city?
Okay. There are 3 gates that allow access in and out of the city proper. The castle is... You notice that every single infantryman is Kalashtan. There is not a single elven infantryman. However, there are elves coming and going from the castle. So it does seem like they have some level of access to it, but they are definitely not the military force protecting this city.
So we see guards up on the walls, but there are also Kalashtar patrolling the streets?
No, not the streets itself. They are specifically up on the walls, on the towers on the outskirts of town. They control the gatehouses, and the only place you see them kind of mingling in any way, shape, or form with the elves is actually at the castle itself. In all other points, the elves seem to have their own detached society.
Okay, so does it look like, based on the construction of the gatehouses, that the Kalashtar could enter from them if they wanted to?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Do I see anything like fields, pastures? Just based on a look, what does this what does this town contribute to the wider Kalashan Empire?
You're not seeing any fields or pastures or anything within the walls. On the outskirts of the city, there is a small forest around the city that kind of almost hides it away as if it was within a forest. Almost as if like they've tried to just hide its existence away, or so that the greater Kalashtan Empire can just pretend it doesn't exist away in that forest.
So, would I guess that the council have to supply goods to this town to keep it functional, or is it relatively self-sufficient by foraging from the forest or something?
You're not quite sure.
Okay.
From what you can see, some houses definitely have some like chicken coops and stuff that they have for themselves, but it does not seem like there would probably be enough here to sustain the entire city. So you'd imagine that there would be a need for import, but you're not seeing any carts or anything coming and going from the gatehouses.
Okay. Beyond that, I will probably, after getting that initial information, so just to get an understanding, the scrying we saw was basically, ooh, there's a beautiful statue. Wow, it's amazing. Oh, there goes Sam's sibling running away past the fountain, being chased by people. Oh no, what a shame. Goes into a back alley. There's a tussle, gets knocked out, but is able to escape.
Exactly what you just said, except the other way around. The vision ended at the fountain.
Okay, so it began at the fountain, and
it began in the alleyway.
Began in the alley, and then finished at the fountain. And I got the impression that Sam's sibling was able to fully escape, and wasn't being pursued further.
It was hard to tell.
Okay. With that being the case, I'm going to basically begin a more detailed investigative sweep of back alleys, places to hide, starting near the fountain and expanding out, trying to find any evidence of Sam's sibling escaping or tucking themselves away, or just any kind of evidence of their presence here.
Roll me.
Pardon?
Roll me perceptions.
Which,
okay.
Depending on how this coincides, Storm was planning on checking out the well.
Why am I rolling so terribly? It's a 5. I'm not trying to just do it based on vision. I'm trying to investigate, but can I do it remotely, or is investigation the kind of thing that requires being there in person?
It requires being there in person. I mean, you could land Wisteria down and get like a closer look or anything, but turning over leaves and everything, and getting up close and investigating, it needs a more personal touch. You can, but it would be harder to do.
Can I use Wisteria's advantage on perception checks that rely on sight for myself?
Yes. And Storm, you're checking out the fountain itself?
That's better. 14.
Okay. Yeah. Just depending on where this all coincides, but I just thought it'd be comical if at the time when Kovek's looking at the well, Storm happened to just be there looking at the well too.
Kovek, you are not seeing any obvious signs of anything from where you are.
Okay.
Everything in the town seems to be normal. People are going about their day. The only thing that seems strange is the fact that there seems to be this disconnect between the Kalashans and the elves. They don't seem to actually interact with each other.
Okay. Once I'm done with like a more thorough look in the alleys and I don't find anything, I'm going to turn a very suspicious eye towards this castle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have Wisteria just flying around, peeking through windows, just trying to observe the inner workings of the castle and try and get a better impression of what's going on inside.
You're peeping Tomming the entire castle.
Basically.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Rude.
Nobody needs.
You find a gnome undressing. They slip
Nobody
in the
will
tub.
ever know. They're gonna know. They'll never know.
She's
They
an
slip in-
owl.
They slip in the tub, scared by the owl. They crack their head open. It's another gnome dies.
Oh my god.
Why?
Is this a
A
true
gnome
gnome
that had, like,
aside, or
one-
is this just a joke?
No.
It's an elf that's like 1% gnome blood within them.
Because I was gonna say, there are no gnomes here.
There are no gnomes in Olan'Talos.
In passing fame.
Do I see anything interesting through the windows?
I'll get back to your peeping Tomness.
Okay.
In the meantime, Storm would definitely have made it to the fountain by now.
Fair enough.
So Storm, you're at the fountain. What are you looking for?
Sorry, I was reading some very high capital, I mean all capital text by Odie in a chat. We just got a hydrate.
Just
Hydrate. Thanks, Chester.
Yes. So Storm will, because it's the closest point to the lady's house. I forgot her name.
Daleth.
Pardon?
Daleth.
Daleth. She'll head over to the well and have a look around. So, Thug, you keep an eye out. How good is your tracking?
Mine?
Yeah.
I mean, I can hunt animal.
Okay. Can you track footprints very well?
Yeah. Shouldn't be that hard.
Alright.
But, like, there's a lot of footprints around here. A lot of people come and go here. Like, look, there's like 20 just right here where I'm looking. Yeah, look, there's one of mine. I can tell because it's freaking huge.
Well, you're looking for little ones. Around Sam's foot size. Yeah? Let me know if you see anything. Have a look around here. Subtle.
I see some over there. But I think that's where we came through earlier.
Well, try and find ones that look different to Sam's, but similar. Maybe a bit older than today?
Oh, I can give her a shot.
Just give it a go. Subtle. How good is your investigate of things?
Investigation.
Yeah, you're you know, I don't know, it's been a while. I know you're good at being all sleuthy, but like, can you find stuff?
I found you, didn't I?
Yes, you found it. I'm not exactly trying to hide. Just have a look around, whatever. I'm going to look in the well. And she goes and starts climbing up to the well and actually climbs up on the well and shoves her head down the well.
It's not a well, it's a fountain.
Oh, it's a fountain?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a well.
With a statue of the goddess in the middle.
Alright, well, she's going to start investigating the fountain itself then. Or having
Roll me
a
an
look
investigation. Subtle's going to not so subtly roll his eyes at you and start pacing around the
For
outside.
fuck's sake, what's with me and rolling 8s today? That's just an 8. I find nothing in the well. I get distracted with my own reflection and start playing with the water.
You do find there is a number of silver coins in the well. Now I'm calling her in the fountain.
She's like, oh, shiny. She like kicks them around a little bit.
You definitely notice you are definitely drawing the attention of the populace walking past. Not only because you stand out like a sore thumb, as three of you look very different, but also you have jumped into a fountain that has a statue of a goddess, and you're kicking around coins that are, you probably don't understand their meaning, but...
She does not understand at all. This is fun. This is fine. She gets out of the water.
Subtle, kind of helps, half helps, half drags you out of the water. and pulls you around the southern side of the fountain. Here, marks of blade.
Of blade? Can I
Metal on stone.
Can I see what he says?
He's pointing it out and showing it to you. It's pretty easy to see that there is some obvious damage to the fountain, which you've done enough practice with blades to recognize the damage against stone from metal.
Oh, Thug, come here.
Oh, I'm looking for footprints.
Well, have a look over here with me. There is a blade mark.
That's not a blade mark, that's more like a toothpick mark. Small blade did that.
Well, maybe toothpick blade. Who knows? But anyway, it seems there is combat here. I somehow cannot see there being much combat here, other than maybe the demo and Sam. So let's have a look around here. Yeah, I will help. We will do it together.
I mean, yeah, there's not even any soldiers around here. It's kind of a peaceful place. Too peaceful, which is what makes me feel a bit creeped out.
Yeah, this is why I think this is clue. So let us have a look. I will help. Can I also roll a survival or whatever it is?
What are you trying to look for?
The footprints, to see if I can find ones that are similar to Sam's but older. Or at
I
least...
think you know enough about tracking that these footprints would be, from when you saw the vision, they would be several weeks old.
I just realized it's been weeks, not like a single week. Yeah, okay, that's me
There's no way those footprints are still there.
That's me misremembering. My apologies. In that case, from where I'm standing, I will try and look around and see if I can see anything else out of place.
Out of place. Alright.
Like,
roll me a perception.
Specifically away from the direction we've just come. Sorry, they would have just come. So away from here, and more like in this direction, or like these directions. Does that make sense?
Yep, roll me
like
perception.
as in like where it would have gone from there. Oh, not bad. That's 23.
Looking from here, there's many different ways that someone could have escaped from this area, if escape was the option. There's no way that someone could have gotten out of here without being seen. The towers from the gatehouse overlook this square. The apothecary has windows opened up into the area. The other local buildings all have windows open up into this area. And it seems to be a fairly busy thoroughfare. It's one of the central locations of town, so there are people coming and going from here at all times. There's no way that something happened here without someone seen. As for which way they could have gone, it could have been literally any. There's no way to tell.
Is there anyone around us currently looking at us like... Like, I know we stand out, and everyone's looking at us like, what the fuck are these idiots doing? But is there someone looking at us, like, knowingly, like, extra curious, like...
I mean, insight.
Yeah,
everyone is looking at you curiously.
Yeah, I know, but, like, you know when someone knows something and they look at you a bit differently? It's not the same as curiosity, it's more inquisitive. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like, there's a different sense you get from a person. Never mind. That's a 9. I rolled a 2.
We're not doing well, are we?
You need a dice, Cheryl.
I just think I need to be rolling different dice. Yeah, I'm gonna pull
you
out...
You don't need a dice jail, you need an entire dice correctional facility.
Yes, I do. I want that correctional facility so bad.
Superstition.
Superstition.
Right.
I did just ravage the fountain.
Yeah, looking around, everyone who is entering the square is stopping and watching. There is a lot of whispering going back and forth. And it seems that some people are not too fond of the idea that you just ravished the fountain.
They should be
So
glad.
no one steps forward and says anything to you.
They should be glad she didn't drink from it. Because she sure as hell sees nothing wrong with that. It is a fountain of clear water. Why would she not?
Crystal clear water.
All the more reason. She wouldn't steal from it because luckily she doesn't give a frick about money. But
Be afraid.
anyway, well, she's gonna start.
Mug.
Oh yeah, okay.
We'll move on for now. Come back to you later.
Okay. Hi, Fidget.
Sam and Mug,
Hi.
moving through town, making your way downtown.
Yep.
Walking fast.
I just had to get in there before you guys did. So what are you doing? Where we going?
I was going to suggest going to the temple.
We can make our way to the temple.
Right.
Bam's keeping a lookout, obviously, as we keep going, just being like, how are people being, other than the usual strangers sort of situation.
Yeah, so you are drawing a lot of attention, the two of you. Small, human-like creature and tall, very not human-like creature. People are giving you a wide berth and moving around you, and you can hear whispers trailing as you pass by. But again, no one steps in your way, no one questions you, no one speaks to you. They simply move out of your way, allow you to pass, and continue on their life as if nothing had ever happened afterwards.
Ah, yes, the whole get out of my way, I'm better than you. No, you know your place. No. Yeah, that definitely something keeping in mind that, yeah, these guys are, yeah.
You make your way.
Do they seem that they're unnaturally subdued? Have they, like, lost spirit? Or are they...
No,
like...
they seem happy.
Okay.
Active. They are going about. You can see kids running about playing. They are going about their lives as if everything in the world is perfectly fine.
Okay, so it's like a small country town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably
Just
have a maypole
double-checking.
festival at some point.
To see what spells I've got, but I don't believe I've got something like, detect magic, to hand. No, I don't. Of course I don't. Fine. We could also, while we're going towards the temple, I do say to Mug, it might be good to double check if they've got any diamonds as well. I don't think we have any. Yeah, for there's a spell I can do in case someone dies.
Are you worried about yourself or your sister?
Everyone.
Everyone.
It's something that I've been trying to get hold of for like a while, just while we're at the temple, because they have people who do the similar things. So,
and
something.
Yeah, if we were speaking out loud, would switch to telepathy and go. So, if they do have these diamonds, what are you planning?
Oh no, it's just being prepared. I don't have any. So I currently can't actually cast a spell.
I thought the plan might have been to acquire one.
If we can get hold of one legitimately, that would be better. We're not criminals, Mug. This is all in our head. All in our head, I'm saying this now.
I don't think we got enough money to cover that.
We can see.
Money.
Oh, that reminds me. I still owe someone some money from the last time I was resurrected, but no, enough of that. So, go to the temple.
I want to insight check that just to see if he's making a joke at what I've stated, or if that's a legitimacy. Because you never know with Mug. Just a brief insight.
Sorry, Fidget.
13 plus 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got a 20. Let me now look at what. Oh, I hate you. Natural 20, baby. For
Yes.
Mug.
Mug got a natural
27.
20 for a total of 27.
Yeah, and I got 20 overall. I rolled a 13.
There's no facial expression to really judge because this is telepathic communication.
Yeah.
So I'm figuring that's what's sort of thrown you a bit because it's sort of deadpan and no.
There's
Yeah.
no sideward glance and smirk or anything.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when Sam does talk to people in their head, they do like the slight smirk or like, oh, he said something funny, like that. So Sam was like,
Yeah.
oh no, you're like straight deadpan. That's fine.
Yeah. Do we know who the temple is to?
It's probably going to be to their god.
As you come up to the temple, you would see the symbol of a waterfall engraved into a stump out the front, surrounded by ferns. The temple itself seems very natural. It's rather than most of these buildings where they have kind of incorporated life around the buildings, but there is still a structure constructed. This seems to be naturally actually grown of trees, creating a wall around it, and they've used ferns and large leaves and sticks and vines, to create a roofing around this, which kind of the building itself is not particularly large, but it kind of creates a central area where there is a small spring.
A little bit ethereal.
Yeah. It's very, very peaceful and tranquil here.
We bring you love.
Oh, he
No,
love.
we don't.
Frankie's kneecaps.
and stepping into, if you do step over threshold into it, the thickness of the trees kind of creates almost a sound barrier, blocking out any of the noise of the outside world. So it is a very peaceful area inside.
With a religion roll of 19, do I recognize the religious,
Yes.
the symbol?
Yeah, you recognize it as Eldath, who is a goddess of waterfalls, springs, stillness, peace, and quiet. She's known for comfort and healing and calm. There's a lot of rumors that springs that are around her temples or shrines have the ability to heal the sick.
That's good.
As we're going in, I'll say to Sam, might be paranoid. Don't drink any of the water.
Sam just looks at you and just goes, I don't know what you mean. What's wrong with the water? And I'll try and do a sleight of hand to make the water start moving really weirdly. Like eating shape water.
Yeah.
Like, looking at Mug, but trying to shape the water behind. And like the one person sees the thing, then I look around like, nothing's happening. What do you mean?
You can roll for a sleight of hand if you want.
Screw it. I want it to be silly. It's the slight things of amusement, that's all.
Yeah.
Nine, 10, 11, 12. You've probably seen.
Well, a passive perception of 12.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I remember a story about someone who went to the Feywild, drank from a stream and lost all memory. Sure, it's a story, but stories come from somewhere. And considering this city, this city's going to be the end of us. We're just going to worry ourselves to death.
I imagine you are speaking currently in telepathy.
Telepathy, yep.
Yeah. As you step over the threshold into the temple, you find 3 priestesses, all deep in a meditative state, sitting around the spring in the center. They seem completely oblivious to your entry.
Are there anyone else in the area?
No, the rest of the temple is empty.
While they're doing their trance, have a bit of a walk around the main room, just sort of looking at things and seeing if there's anything cool.
Yeah, pretty much seeing all the tapestries. Do they have a donations box? Does it seem like this place actually gets used? Other than these 3 people, do people come here, pay their respects? Do people actually get injured? That sort of thing.
Roll me perception, actually. Or actually, sorry, roll me a religion.
Both of us.
For you, Mug has already rolled, so I'll give information to Mug based on that, but in case you happen to get more.
So overall, it's a 21.
That's not bad. All right.
I only get a +1 to religion.
That's...
So that's a natural 20.
It's very good then.
That's the long way around to getting to the fact that you're wrong.
But it has more effect though.
It actually makes a lot of sense that you would know a bit more about Eldeth anyways. You definitely have heard your mother talk about Eldeth.
The moment when I asked you which god did my mother, and you're like, I'm going to tell you. She doesn't tell us. Like, oh, okay. Oh. Now we're getting into lore.
Eldeth is definitely a god that is worshipped by a lot of druids. As she is seen as a source of life and peacefulness. There's also a lot of monks that actually follow Eldeth as well. But you recognize in the pool itself there are a number of pink lotuses floating in the water, which is a tradition that a lot of the elven community use and worshippers of Eldeth use as a way of making a prayer to Eldeth. And hoping that it will be heard to.
Yeah. Putting a lotus into
the... it is believed that if the lotus floats for 1 week, then your prayer will be heard and answered. Whereas if it wilts and dies, then it is not something that Eldeth can interfere with currently.
Okay. With that knowledge, I'm not asking how long they've been there for, because that will be really awkward to tell, but are any looking like they're starting to wilt and die?
There is a mixture of some who float and some that have died and start to sink below.
That's cool. I know better than to oh yeah, that's not going to be needed anymore. Take it out now. The person needs to know that's happened, so they'll come back and notice it.
And it'll be bad form to put a bit of cork underneath some of the lotuses to
Oh, it'll be poor form. Poor form. I haven't even told us what the things are yet. It's like, did my notice? Like, oh, okay. Like,
Oh, Jesus.
I'm gonna... What? That's how you get an express message to the gods, right? You cheat. You cheat the metaphysical laws of religion.
This is... Oh, no.
Another telepathic message to Sam. Keep an eye out for any, little halfling-styled messages. Maybe something scratched in somewhere.
You hear back, oh, don't worry, I'm pretty sure they'll be on my level. For once, being short will have its advantage. That's not. I don't say that out loud. But that's one of those things.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, for once, being short may give me an advantage. I'll keep an eye out. I've got maybe an idea that because it's the whole thing of if Samantha. No, I'm Samantha. Fuck.
Alternate
I'm leaving.
Sam.
I don't believe in my lies too much. Oh goddamn these Applebee's.
Or even the Weatherby.
I deliberately said Applebee.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the whole. I don't know if he even knows that I'm looking out for him, but possibly if he's leaving like some kind of breadcrumb trail to a degree, who knows? Who knows? We'll see. So I'll give a look around for thing. I'll whisper back to Mug saying, it would be best to leave the fountain alone, lest we incur the wrath of the gods, if you believe that sort of thing.
Mug's going to sort of sit down for a few minutes, take out the lute, and just play sort of like the equivalent of harp music.
Okay.
You know, those like little sprinkled notes here and there just to sort of set a
Break
vibe.
the tension.
But also to like see if the people, the priestesses here react, because it's more noise than we would have been making up to this point, and to also show that we're trying to sort of create or continue the peaceful atmosphere.
Yeah, it's like, hello, we're here, but at the same time, not just yelling in your ear.
Yeah, kind of want to draw your attention, kind of want to like still chill. So for like 5-10 minutes, just to see if they react. At most.
You played for several minutes before one of the priestesses' eyes open slowly, and she turns her head to look towards you. At first, she doesn't say anything. She just sits listening to the music, and then eventually uncrosses her legs and moves into a more kneeling position and bows her head towards you. Before finally speaking. To what do we owe the pleasure of your presence, sweet bard?
We are travelers in your fine city who are after some of your wisdom and counsel.
Eldith is listening, and after hearing that fine tune, I'm sure she is more than willing to part with some knowledge. You honor her with your notes.
One does what one can. My companion here is looking for his sister that was traveling through this city some weeks ago. We were wondering whether you may have seen her. And I'll do a detect thoughts. Shit, I have to use the 3rd level spell for that.
Yeah. Or if you, Sam will chime in a little bit saying, or if there is a chance that you have the capacity for scrying, that would also be quite useful. Just to ease my mind.
It is rare to see strangers, let alone ones of another species, in this city. In fact, it has been many years since one has arrived. I know we had visitors recently. And you, rather than hear, you see flashes of figures moving through town. But every time you see the flash of these figures, it's always as if they're obscured by shadow. Everyone else moving around is visible and known, but they are always just in the darkness for a bit. And then she thinks to herself for a moment, and but no, that was dignitaries from the Kalashtan Empire. And as she says that, the memory changes so that the figures are Kalashtan in both figure and form and clothing, no longer hidden in shadow.
Perhaps you could try and remember what people said about them. Did they have others with them? Just think back. Surely such an occurrence would have caused some comment. Don't think on them as much as what others were saying.
She thinks back for a moment. They were here looking for someone. Yes. It was strange.
Did they say who they were looking for?
No, just that they were probing questions. Asking, much like yourself, if someone had been around, someone out of place.
Do you recall when this was? How long ago?
Well, this would be 2 to 3 months ago.
And do we have a actual figure for how long ago the scrying was?
It was about 2 to 3 months ago.
Does
Roughly.
that fit in? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 'cause we already went through that the other day as well, being like, oh yeah, this or this. It's like, yeah.
So try and... I was trying to see whether I can find a little loophole in the magic, which was if the magic affected memories of the people, then I was trying to trigger sort of secondary memories of like talking to others about them or references to them or what other people thought of them. So it's not memories of the persons themselves, but the effect that they had on the town while they were here. So I'll try and guide her along those lines, just sort of speaking calmly and...
The more she thinks about it, the more your visions that you see in her mind turn a bit more... not necessarily chaotic, but confused, I'd say. Like, in her own mind, she is attempting to put the parts together again. They don't quite add up. There's parts that do not come together properly. They were causing quite a stir. I do recall this. It was odd for them to interact with us at this level.
At the same time, there was some damage done. One of the streets. Was anyone injured? Do they seek refuge, assistance here? Perhaps healing?
Yes, one of them was injured. Quite badly. Took several days for us to heal them.
Do you keep records of those that you heal?
No, we keep no physical records here.
Did they give any donation or gift?
Yes, a donation was offered, as is tradition for any healing or services rendered.
Do you know what that donation was?
At this, she gets up and moves over to not necessarily a side room, but or even a cabinet. It's more of like shelving, but almost naturally grown, and laden with leaves to pad out to make it level. And pulls out a ornate golden rod, roughly about a foot in length, with wolf-like symbolism emblazoned on the head of it. So 4 wolf heads around it, almost like a mace of sorts, with the head like that. But it seems to be like a sigil of office of sorts.
Does it seem to match anything that we know of the Kalashtar or Demu style?
Looking at this style, roll me an insight. Or history, even. Whichever you wish.
Slightly better at history. 14.
You're not 100% sure, but it could potentially be Demu. But there are a number of different cultures that it could also go towards.
Did we see any wolf iconography on the specific group of Demu bounty hunters that attacked us?
Yes, you had seen wolf iconography on them.
Okay. A most impressive gift. Alas,
Yes,
I could
a
not
relic of
offer
theirs.
anything close to that. However, perhaps I could come back later and perform for you and the sisters again.
We would appreciate that greatly. It is rare to find those that would offer their time rather than just a trinket.
The value of peace is something that I prize highly.
Are you a devout elder?
My mother is, or I believe of she at least knows the name of your goddess. Spoke about it in small bits of my childhood. So
Whereas I do not know where my path leads.
Well, much like the river, you go with the flow, allow it to carry you, and see how it turns out. Do not fight against it. Do not struggle against your path. For your path is guided by powers that you do not know.
I think perhaps we should send one of our friends here. He is judged more by fire than by water. It's a very large individual. Perhaps some peace and contemplation could do him wonders.
We welcome all who are willing to listen and learn.
I make no guarantees about that.
I am actually interested in learning a bit more. Actually, yeah. Have you got any symbols like necklaces or adornments or something?
We have a number. Are you requesting one?
I'm not sure. Maybe. I'll come back to you on that one. Sorry.
Of course. Bring your friend. We would be excited to meet. It is rare to speak with outsiders. And if we can pass on the knowledge of Eldeth to others and spread her word, then we are achieving something that has been missed for some dear time.
I think I'd like to know a bit more. My mother never really spoke very openly about her views, where she came from before she met my father, and so I don't know. Like to think it might give me a bit more knowledge on who my mother is, I suppose, if you get what I mean.
You are more than welcome to stay here for some time. And we can speak of Eldeth and her teachings.
Yeah, you can get back to your meditation, and I'll stick around for a bit, I think, and then we can talk later. That's all right.
Yeah, we can talk now if you wish.
I don't mind either way. I mean, Mug, sorry, you were gonna be doing things.
Yes, as you understand, water exists in many forms, and perhaps Eldeth has a calling through other means of water apart from rivers. There is a barrel in the tavern which is calling to me on a very spiritual level. And I try to keep a straight face as I'm saying that to see whether they understand the humour.
She smiles, almost as if about to give a chuckle, but does not. But still clearly finds the humour in what you've said. She sits herself back down upon the ground. Says, if you wish to bring your friend, we will be here. If you wish to learn more yourself, we will be here. For now, your friend is safe with us. Go enjoy the offerings of this world.
Yeah. I'll come back. I'll come back later with that in mind. Thank you.
Right, so you're both moving on?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have a
split
quick.
In the party.
No, I'll have a very quick. As we're walking out, I underneath the fountain, or a few places, just like anywhere I can quickly have a glance at to see if there's anything written or etched in somewhere. That's all.
Roll me a perception.
Just like it's in passing. I think my passive perception is okay.
Okay. So just in passing, passive perception 17.
My passive perception is 17.
Yeah. You do not find anything that would lead you to believe that your sibling has been here. In fact, especially on the temple itself, it seems that no one would dare to mark it or damage it in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's more like if anything had been slipped in other than etched or something like.
No, you're not finding it.
That's fine. I could have taken them, but it's fine. We're good. Thank you. That was all I wanted to do.
Alright. Back to Thalai and Kovac.
Okay. Perving on all of the windows.
Perving on all the...
That should not be your character's theme song.
No.
That could be your wrestler entrance music.
Do it.
Looking through the windows, are you starting top to bottom, bottom to top? one side to the other? How are you going about this?
Top to bottom, I think.
Okay.
I imagine things get more narrow and sparse towards the top, so I'll eliminate the upper floors first, and then
And
work down.
how close are you getting?
Are there like stone windowsills for Wisteria to land on?
Yes. For some of them, not all of them, but yes.
If she can land and just like do generic bird stuff, that. If not, I don't want her to be just like awkwardly like treading air, staring in a window for no reason. So for those windows, it'll be more of a like a slow drifting flyby. So I might only catch a bit of a glimpse of those windows.
Starting at the top tower, the main tower, a number of the windows here have curtains drawn over. You do find a window with a ledge that you can land upon, and Mysteria does so. Inside, you see what seems to be a stateroom. A large table in the center with a map laid out on it, and you can see flags and little models sprawled out across the table. So it looks like a war map of sorts, where there's definitely things being marked and move across the board. Inside, you find 4 Kalashtan soldiers. They seem to be of quite high rank just by the way they are dressed. And they seem to be talking back and forth whilst moving things across the board. And then standing guard at the door is another 2 Kalashtan soldiers. These ones looking file rank soldiers.
Can I eavesdrop?
No, I don't think they're talking loud enough for you to be able to hear through the glass.
Okay. That's fair. Temptation to take observant grows ever stronger.
After a moment, one actually looks over towards Wisteria and starts advancing towards the window.
Peace out!
As you fly lower down the tower, most of the windows show you just general quarters. A lot of the windows have curtains drawn. The occasional window that you fly past has a maid cleaning the room, or a servant polishing some armor. It seems to be just general life going on about as it is. The one thing you notice, though, is that everyone in the tower is Kalashtan. As you fly down lower to the building proper, the main halls, you start to see elven townsfolk moving about the main area of the castle. A number of them seem to be holding scrolls in their hands, possibly deeds or requests. And a number of them seem to be coming and going from the smaller tower off to the west. Seems to be some kind of hearing chamber where they may state requests. But you can see no windows that you can land upon there. You can get a few flybys, and you can see that they are walking up to a table that has 3 Kalashtan dignitaries sitting upon it, and they seem to be hearing out these people's requests and possibly either approving or rejecting them. You cannot hear what's happening inside.
Okay. I get the distinct impression that if something sus was going on in this place, it might be happening underground. So before I call Wisteria back, I'll have a poke around to see if there's any visible evidence of a cellar, a basement, any kind of well-established underground.
Roll me a perception.
Okay. Add advantage because Wisteria.
Mhm.
Okay. 16.
Looking around as much as you can, you do not see any obvious signs. In fact, you don't see a sign of a cell area at all. If there is a dungeon, then any entrance to it is quite well hidden or deep within the castle itself.
Okay.
There is no exterior signs of it.
Cool. And I feel. Do I feel like I've got a pretty good read of this place? I haven't missed anything.
Not that you can think of, no.
Okay. I will call Wisteria back and return to my body. That took longer than I was expecting. And I'll remove a flower from my hair. A feather?
No, it was a flower.
Oh, was it? Oh, sorry. I thought it was
I said feather or something, and then remembered. Oh no, Stormboys has flowers on her, so it was a flower.
Where's everybody else gone?
Let's see. Mug and Sam. Mug and Sam went off to explore. I thought they said tavern. And we'll meet them at sundown. Storm, Thog, and the Leonin exploring town.
See, I see the folded up piece of paper on my lap and pull it open and read it. What? Around what time is it now?
At this point, it's probably getting very close to sundown.
Okay.
You've spent quite a bit of time investigating.
I did notice that there was a smithy in town on the way to the tavern. Shall we swing by before we meet up with the others?
Do we have time?
A bit. I wouldn't suggest getting too in depth with the smith, but a passing glance wouldn't go amiss.
Alright, and I'll shut the book. Oh.
I'll look down at my map and kind of give a disapproving. Ish.
Yeah, I didn't really know how to assist you, so I just left it. Not looking good.
I hadn't tried that technique before. I'll need some practice. At the very least, I managed to capture the basic perimeter and rough locations. As we walk, I can update this as we go.
Perhaps you need proper tools to do it with, rather than just pen and parchment.
I was also jumping back and forth in between two different perspectives. It was a little jarring. Also, I'm not singing.
What? No, I think that plan got scrapped. You're safe.
Thank goodness. Let's go.
I hope.
And as we walk, because I drew the map using my magical quill, I can. As we're walking, I'm going to erase roughly drawn sections and draw in portions in comparatively more detail as I see them as we walk. And we're going to the smithy. Yeah.
Alright. You're making your way downtown.
To the smith.
Alright. You as you approach the smith, you are noticing the sun setting over the forest.
Okay.
In the walls. The streets are emptying out rather quickly. People going back to their towns, their houses, and finishing up for the day. The smithy itself is closed. However, most of it is open to air. It doesn't seem like it actually closes for the night, kind of thing. No one is currently operating it, but there is also no one around, and a lot of the wares are out on table, available. So it does
Okay.
not seem like they are concerned of theft.
Interesting.
Looking over the works, you can definitely see incredible craftsmanship going into a number of the things. There is no weapons on display. However, there is a number of fine jewelry, a number of fine ornamental pieces, such as chairs or small tables or candelabras, all very, very finely crafted, with very obvious signs of elven make to it. With some of the more elaborate looking pieces, you can even notice even signs of mithril being mixed in with it.
I was about to ask what materials, but
For the most part, it seems to be iron, or gold, or brass and copper being used. But there is definitely signs of mithril being mixed into some of the finer pieces. Whoever does work this smith has a very delicate hand to them.
they definitely get mithril out of the city, at least in good quality ones.
These are beautifully made. My
No
goodness.
weapons, but then some of this would indicate more craft than just blacksmithing.
Indeed. I've heard talk of elven mages in the past making wonderful use of chainmail crafted of mithril. It was so light it wouldn't impede spellcasting.
I have heard of that, yeah. Though, from what I understand as well, if you receive training in how to wear the armor, then armor does not interfere with magic casting either.
Yes. Armor wearing never really sat well with me. It took me 2 days to convince my captain that I couldn't do my job properly in the standard issue guard armor that I was initially issued.
You think they would have given you training to compensate for that?
Panzerknight is incredibly busy, and sadly there are never really enough guards. I don't think there was time.
You had no training for...
I was more of a select recruit, chosen not for my martial prowess, but my arcane talents.
Ah. Yeah, with the tables and the chairs and that, are they all... Ash?
All what, sorry?
The table... Yeah, I just noticed. The tables and chairs, were they metal work?
Some are a combination of both. Some are simply metal and some are wood, so there is definitely some whittling going on here as well.
The biggest shame is that if they have any mithril, probably
You're kind of cutting in and out, I'm sorry.
The biggest shame would be that if they did have mithril available for sale, there's no way I can afford it.
Right. Have you seen it elsewhere?
Mithril is hard to get your hands on. Same with all the other orders. I did see it at one spot, but it was very expensive.
Oh dear. Well,
I can make inquiries, but I'm not holding out my luck here either.
do you think you could learn from the smith, from their craft?
If I've got time, maybe, but... Well, who knows if I've got time.
Perhaps just a conversation could be illuminating.
Perhaps. Shall we meet the others at the tavern then?
Yes, let's.
Right. You all make your way into the tavern. It's got a number of people in there. It's not, I wouldn't say crowded or very bustling. It's easy for you to find an area to sit by yourselves to have private conversation. Mug and Sam would be the first to arrive. And then we'll quickly jump back over to Storm and her motley crew.
Yes. Pardon me. They would, after investigating the, would spend a bit of time wandering around to these, like, nearby locations and see if there's any signs of scuffs. Or scuffles.
No, you do not find any obvious signs of fighting other than by the fountain itself.
Okay. And then she would head further down to the alleyway and start, having a look at what other signs, any signs that they may have missed the first time they walked down there.
Okay. Roll me perception.
Is it going to be better than an 8?
Yes, in fact it is 28.
Ooh.
Very good. You make your way down into the alley and start rummaging through things, shifting stuff out of the way to get a proper look that you didn't quite get a chance to do when you had Daleth here before, overwatching you. The alley itself is abandoned at this current time due to people starting to close up for the night and go to bed, or at least tuck themselves away inside. You can see a little bit of light coming from through the shutters of the house either side of you, giving you enough light, and the setting sun giving you enough light just to be able to see about here. You can see signs of stuff being moved, but not necessarily anything to do with a fight at all. It definitely looks like this area is quite clean, as if possibly cleaned up recently, which does go with what Dayla said of that there was damages here, but it was repaired. So it looks like any obvious signs of any fight has been removed by their repairs. As you are looking about, though, you notice or feel the presence of people approaching, and you look down the alleyway to see 3 elven townsfolk making their way down the alleyway. They seem to be just talking amongst each other and haven't really acknowledged your existence as of yet, but they are moving closer. But yeah, you do not find any obvious signs of a fight.
Okay. Does the alleyway seem frequented? Like, is this like an odd bunch, or does it have the sense of like it's traversed quite regularly?
I'd say you've probably been down the alleyway here looking for probably about 15 minutes-ish, and no one has come down here. So it does seem odd for people to be here, especially seeing as it seems more of an access area to bring larger items into the houses here, or people who live in these specific houses. But you see lights on all of these houses, so it seems that people are already home in them. So it doesn't make sense for people to be making their way in. And there's main roads either side that people would frequent far more often. So it does seem out of place.
Okay.
For this time of day.
Storm will point them out. And then indicate to Subtle that he should try and listen.
not hear you. You whispered so well that even we didn't hear what you said.
She goes, subtle, try listen.
He looks over to them.
And she'll do the same.
And as he does, he looks the other way and nods his head that way, pointing out as 4 more elves step around the corner the other way and start walking in towards you.
So like they might be trying to trap us.
As you look back over to where Sutter was, he's no longer there. He seems to have disappeared into the shadows.
It's all good, she expected this.
And the elves, as they approach, pull from under their cloaks clubs and swords. And one calls out to you. So, you've come to ruin our operation. Not the smartest move.
Operation?
And you separated yourself. Made it easy for...
I mean, yes, definitely. I am all mastermind of trying to stop you from doing operation. What are you even talking about?
And we'll end the session there.
God! Fudge it.
Yes, split the party.
Mm-hmm. Well, we kind of had to.
Oh, so much going on.
Gosh darn it.
I'm kind of expecting Storm's first action to be quick draw firework and light it.
Absolutely. Because it tells everyone where she is. But also, she might play with them a little bit first.
I'm worried.
Gosh darn it. Why is it always me that ends up in trouble? Oh no, wait, it was Thelai last time. It's fine, it's not always me.
Let's face it, any one of the characters in this group will have reasons to do stupid shit, which will get them in trouble. Different types of trouble, but it's gonna happen.
What did me?
And you are surrounded.
Mug's backup plan was to get himself arrested to find out what happens to people who get arrested.
I mean, fair.
There is no war in passing, so...
Why are the elves the one doing this too? This is weird. Unless they're all Kalashite in disguise. What's happening?
I mean,
I have theories.
they could
I
also
have
be mind controlled by the demo.
Mm-hmm. Or by the Kalashtians?
Doubtful by the demo. This
I
is
also
a fair
don't-
way.
I also don't think this is a Kalashta thing either. I have theories.
I like to hear theories. However, we're going to finish up for now.
Yeah.
Thank you all for
Gosh,
joining us. You can join us again next week, where we will continue on and find out what exactly is happening. Whose plans are these? Who are they thwarting? Why are they here?
Oh gosh darn it.
Will Thalai ever find tranquility?
No.
Yes, in death.
Ugh.
But for now, we will say goodbye. And if you do like our games, then please join us on Tuesday nights, where the lovely Rory, 2 down from me, runs our Stars Without Number campaign, which is a sci-fi setting where things are going kind of crazy.
Some people might be wondering, where could the story possibly go from here? I am also wondering that.
True words of wisdom from the DM. Or rather, Space Master.
Underground on a planet in drive space or on a ship on another planet. Fighting giant space jellyfish. And each other?
Yeah, probably.
Fighting the NPCs who were sent to keep you safe.
All I know is I'm a shark.
You are a shark.
Or at least the closest embodiment of a human
And I
shark.
seem to be some cat-like creature.
More reptilian than cat.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was reptilian. I forgot.
Alright, thank you all for joining us. We will find someone to raid.
Yes.
Quick Save Gaming is playing some Dungeons and Dragons.
That's true. Yeah. We'll find someone who's playing Dungeons and Dragons to raid.
Friendly here is also playing some Dungeons and Dragons.
I am not equipped for this.
You should have thought about that before you suggested a raid.
Friendly here has 5 viewers. Let's pass some love on to them, I think.
Yeah, alright, we could do that.
Been a while since we've raided them.
Oh, hi,
Yeah.
Fidget.
Why not?
And thank you for joining us, Snow, and Kit, and everyone else who is still here, but not so chatty.
We have a few people
That
still
is
hanging out.
Perfectly
Yeah.
fine.
Thanks for everyone who was, interactive and chatting all through the stream, if not the whole time, but partially. It was still appreciated.
I should probably say, if you want to get more chatty with us or talk game stuff or character
Yes,
concepts
we
or
do
anything
have a
like that,
Discord.
we have a Discord, which we do not advertise anywhere near enough. But
Wait, we
there's
have
a lot
a
of...
Discord?
I think that link still works. Someone click on it and make sure it does. It's a trap.
It does.
Yep, there's an invite.
Ayo, I remembered to update it. Woohoo!
Hey, you.
Ayo,
So
I remember to do
please join us.
things.
We have a little character area where you can discuss ideas. We've got our stream chatter. We've got our fur baby love. We've got a shiny click clacks where you can show off your beautiful dice. We've got LARP discussion. We've got art. We've got
We love it when
a
people
whole
get
lot of
chatty.
stupidity.
Well, that's just
Good
you.
fun.
I mean, what?
I mean, yes, I have a lot of stupidity. There's a Meet the Characters area, which we definitely need to post more stuff of Meet the Characters.
I mean, if anyone has any questions about our characters, that's a great way to ask them. Post them
I
in
might
there.
add, actually, you know what? I might add a channel in the stream chatter for some more information on the NPCs that you have met, and that way the audience can get to know them as well if they've missed out on them.
Meet the Characters is a good place to put it anyway. You could just put it there.
Well, I'd like to keep the player characters and the lore characters separated.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. You could call it NPC love or something. Anyway, but the audience is more than welcome to post questions in those channels, and we'll answer them as best we can, and at our earliest convenience, because a lot of us have full-time jobs and life things that get in the way. But we try to be as active as possible on there, so feel free to throw us a line when you need to. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to bop us over to our end screen so that I can do the raid. We love you all, and thank you for hanging out with us today.
I should wave this way instead of that way, because my camera has moved.
I am waving, but you can't see it, but I am
it's okay,
waving.
you're waving in mind and spirit. Toodaloo.